Well, hello and welcome. Very serious topic today, menace in the sun winning sector. But I want to start by asking this rhetorical question, that are there any laws in Ghana at all? Because the will at which most laws are broken is just too much. And some of the most popular reasons for which we break our laws is, I have no job, my mom and my father is not looking after me, I've been looking for work and I can't find it. And therefore you can sell on the pavement, you can sell on the road, you can even mine in water and say, look, I don't have a job. You can build on a waterway, jump red light. You can literally have just that little excuse and go out there and do whatever it is that you want to do. And particularly if you are of a political lineage and your party happens to be in power, as for that, the laws are just not for you, it's just for the others. You are free to run riot. But you get to a point that, a nation with no laws, how is that nation going to stand? We've all focused on galamsey recently, and the media has jumped on board, and everybody's doing their bit just to make sure that illegal metal mining ceases. But unbeknown behind it, and even worse, is sun winning, or if I should say sun mining. And they are doing even worse and more treacherous than galamsey. And he asks you, if only we were going to follow the laws, I mean, where do we start and where do we stop as a nation? Are we overwhelmed? Is it just we just cross our hands and hope that one day things will just automatically fall into place? Or indeed, we have to let the laws bite? But then how? Since none of them seems to bite. My name is Nana Sakwa the Fourth, Akwamodu Masahini, and your host. When I come, I have two fine gentlemen to talk about sun winning, but just watch this documentary to set the conversation rolling. Don't go.
There is gradually another worrying trend rearing its ugly head into the mix, and I'm talking about illegal sand winning. I'm currently standing at Yoko, a village at Nsawam in the eastern region. Now, where I am standing now used to be covered with cassava, but today it has completely changed. It is now a sand winning site illegally occupied by some sand winners. Now, the situation recently resulted in a clash between these illegal sand winners and the residents who are predominantly farmers of Yoko. That deadly clash also saw the residents setting ablaze this earth-moving equipment used by the illegal sand winners to dissipate their farms. Even though some winners operate within the confines of the law, having been duly sanctioned by the Minerals Commission, a considerable number of the sand winners engage private guards to protect their illegally acquired concessions, prepared to shoot and kill whoever stands in their way. On the outskirts of Yoko, a suburb of Nsawam in the eastern region, one such cartel has found a safe haven. They have, over the last few months, intensified their operations, cowing the residents into submission as they destroy farmlands and render many jobless in the process.
Our livelihood is on the land. We farm on the land and use the proceeds to take care of our families. So if they continue to dissipate it, there wouldn't be any arable land for us to farm on.
They came with land guards. What is the meaning of that? Even going to the land to demarcate the whole place, we were not told. All that we realized or we saw was that they have already taken the machine to the forest to go and then take the measurement of wherever they intend to work, which I think it is illegal.
By so doing, it has created fear and panic in the public. So whereby most people cannot go to their farms, especially the women. They are afraid that they will be attacked by those land guards and all those things.
Suspecting collusion between the illegal sand winners and some police personnel, the residents decided to tackle the illegality head-on all by themselves. As fate would have it, not all the protesters made it back home from the rather short demonstration. 23-year-old Charles Kwamna was shot and killed by the sand-winning cartel, which, like their illegal gold mining counterparts, always wield guns at the sites they control and operate. Under this palm tree was where Charles Samwako, now late, was shot and killed by illegal sand winners who trailed him, caught up with him here, and offloaded bullets at his back, which subsequently led to his death. Now, the concern of the community here is that if urgent steps are not taken to end the trend, all of these pawpaw plantation, cassava plantation would be gone, because the activities of the sand winners is spreading like wildfire. 55-year-old Auntie Coco, mother of the deceased, has been in a grieving mood since the loss of her beloved son. She couldn't hold back the tears as she recalls her son's murder. Her husband, 66-year-old Ejay Sang, and father of late Kwabna, also tries unsuccessfully to fight back the tears. Charles Kwabna Mwako is survived by a wife and a 5-year-old daughter.
I looked for him that fateful morning, but couldn't find him. It was later in the day that I got the news that he took part in the demonstration and was killed in the process.
I suffered these gunshot wounds in the process.
Felix took part in the protest. He tells me how heart-wrenching it was when news reached him at the hospital that his brother had been killed by the sand-winning cartel. He tells me he is still struggling to come to terms with the news about his brother's death. He was lucky to escape with a couple of gunshot wounds on his hip. Despite the accusations of complicity, the police haven't abandoned the war against the sand winners. DSP Michael Zardandi is in Sawam District Police Commander.
I might say that sand winning activities within the municipality is a problem. Everywhere people win sand, indiscriminate sand winning. I think that it is the drive to get money. Yes, people go for the machines after they have identified a place where there is sand. That is what they call galamsey. They just
galamsey this time around, not with gold, but with sand.
This sand, we are talking about sand winning here.
Mining permits are issued by the Minerals Commission, where Mr. Obriye Boachumesi is the chief inspector.
We are worried about the illegalities. God, you know that they work at night. We will deal with them. You see? Because we normally, when we have challenges like this, we have only one recourse: to go to national security, give them the total report. This particular place, we are having this challenge. These people are winning at night. Not just they are winning at night for winning's sake. They come with sophisticated weapons. Cutlasses, casuals. And even if you're a soldier, you don't take time, they will kill you.
What they did the last time that prevented people of Nsawam Adwajiri from getting water, for Ghana Water Company to get water to treat at the Nsawam treatment plant. What they did was that some people were winning sand. They were winning sand, so they diverted the course of the water. So the water was no longer coming into the treatment plant, the place where we had dammed the water. And these people are not going to stop today, are not going to stop tomorrow. So if they keep doing all this within a very short time, in a very short period, there will be no water in Ghana to treat. So either we will import water from wherever to come and treat, or if you have water, you have money, you have to import bottled water to come and drink. So we are just appealing to the government. I believe it is a government that has the state power, that has military power, that has power of the security agencies. Something drastic must be done. Otherwise, we are sitting on a time bomb. Very soon, it is going to explode.
The Ministry of Agriculture is also worried about the trend. Chief Technical Advisor to the Minister, Asante Krobia, tells me the indiscriminate sand winning phenomenon is worrying. He speaks of radical plans to nip the developments in the bud.
The issue of land winning cuts across so many ministries. In fact, lands and forestry, even lands commission itself, town country planning, all have a role to play. People issue permits for people to go and win sand. Who are those people? Who are getting money out of it? Although it's destroying our crops, others also have a role to play. So we are concerned. We'll do what we can, but we need a collaboration of all.
The ministry, however, could not say when the radical steps will be activated. Until then, communities like Yoko and other mining towns suffering the effect to sand winning and galamsey operations would have to endure as their lands, forests and environments are pillaged, with short-term implications for the water we drink and the air that we breathe, and long-term implications seemingly too distant to fathom.
Heart-breaking, heart-wrenching, total chaos. And that's what I was asking, are there any laws? Who's enforcing them? You can break laws at will in this country. Anything at all that your heart desires, you can leave your house now, plant a kiosk on the pavement, stand by the roadside to sell, build wherever you want to build, farm, mine, anything that your heart desires. So apparently, I mean, at the moment, if you just have some good training and self-discipline, then that sustains you. Other than that, you're free. On the motorway, every morning, and those who drive on the motorway, just by the mini metal bridge, there's a guy who sort of breaks stones. And every morning seems to bring his stones by the motorway and his little hammer, and he just works away on his stones on the motorway. Welcome to Ghana. But with me in the studio, sat right next to me, is Alfred Okuvandapoy, former Mayor of Accra and Honorable Member of Parliament for Ablikuma South. Also member of the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee on Sand Winning. So this is well within his jurisdiction. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then with me is Lateef Idris, my own colleague and brother, multimedia journalist who did this documentary indeed. Lateef is here. Lateef, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Lateef. Find out, has the killers or the murderers of Charles been caught?
Yeah, the last time we checked with the Nsawam police, we told they've gotten about 2 of them, but the prime suspect is yet to be, arrested. So the police are still on the trail, trying to get to this owner of this cartel. He's the leader of this whole gang. Who are causing mayhem in the Nsawam municipality, and so the police is still on this trail.
Yeah. And how long have they been suffering this illegality?
This, according to the locals, started about 2 years ago.
Wow.
It started very small, but because authorities didn't pay attention, they didn't act, like you said in your intro, it became free for all, and so they intensify the operations, and now it's got into a worrying level, reason why I had to step in to come up with this piece to show to the country what exactly is going on within this sector. We are all concentrating on galamsey, but there is something even more dangerous if we don't nib it in the bud now.
Alfred, are we overwhelmed? You know, because where do you start? I mean, like you drive and you realize that every driving rule is being broken. Most building rules are being broken. Education, you know, sector by sector. So, I mean, are we overwhelmed, and where do we start?
Well, I think as a country, there must never come a time when we will be overwhelmed, because the country is made up of people, and persons' lives and livelihood is very important. And for that matter, it's important that we recognize that there are standards, there are rules and regulations. These are meant to ensure that the lives of our people, the advancement of the cause of making sure that our people do well, our children do well, is guaranteed by us all, everybody being held responsible to making sure that we do not do anything whatsoever to threaten the very existence of our people. That's why we have governments. That's why we have state departments, ministries responsible, and to make sure that, you know, we protect the lives of our people. And as long as those institutions exist, they must be seen to be doing the purpose for which they exist. So our ministries have not closed down. Our police departments are still there. Our military is still there. There should never come a time when we are overwhelmed.
But Alfred, they are all there as a formality. I mean, the Constitution says there shall be a police force, and therefore you have to have a police force. There shall be this, and therefore, you know, shall be whatever it is. But as to them doing whatever it is, I mean, look at the size of this mining thing. It's not as if there's a pin somewhere and they took it and nobody wasn't aware that the thing is lost. Mm-hmm. So clearly the police have they have no intention of stopping it. They just speak big English to my brother, and that's the end.
We must hold our institutions responsible to making sure that we protect property and people of this country. There are people on payrolls whose responsibility...
You're saying must, which means at the moment we are not.
Well, if we were, I don't think we'll be seeing what we are seeing. And what we are seeing is a national disaster. I mean, you are showing that which is happening in somewhere near in Sanwo. Yes, but it's all over the country. It's all over. It's all over in all of our regions. You know, you go to the rural communities, Greater Accra, Ashanti region, Eastern region, Volta region. These things are happening. And parliamentarians are very concerned. That's why about 5 to 6 weeks ago, the Speaker of the House, you know, put a committee together, because we spoke very strongly, because the MPs are seeing what is happening. So we came to Parliament, put it on the floor, spoke seriously against it, and the Speaker put an ad hoc committee in place, for which I'm a member, so that we could look into this and bring reports as to what needs to be done. But it's a serious issue, you know, and
are there designated places where you can win sand? Because definitely they need sand for building, sand for whatever purpose it is they need. But do we have designated places for them to go?
You see, sand is part of the mineral resources of this country. And there are laws for the act of doing anything with the minerals. There are laws. We have state departments or commissions whose responsibility it is to issue the necessary permit, make sure that it is being done in the most appropriate way. However, there are so many illegal activities being undertaken that makes it worse situations for our environment. So for me, the issue is, if we know there are illegal ways of doing these things, but there are illegal activities being undertaken, why are we sitting down and allowing it to happen? We must not sit down. We must only allow the illegal activities to take place. And in doing so, make sure the right thing is done from A to Z. But if we know that other parties are taking similar actions and activities that does not endure to our benefit, that's why I'm saying we have the police, we have the military. And these situations have gotten to the extent that I think it has become a national security issue. You understand? The national security has to get involved. Because you saw the clip, the child who lost his life. These people have gotten sophisticated, and I mean, what they are saying is that come what may, they will do what they want. But we shouldn't live in a country where we allow people to do what they want.
Let me go to Latif. Latif, has any of these sand winners been arrested, the tipper owners or the digger owners? Is anybody in custody or anybody being tried?
Most of the tipper trucks that the winners use are on rent basis. So the trucks are there. If you want, you've located a place that you think is viable for winning sand, you go rent the trucks, go and carry out your operations. When you are done, you just return it. There are some who do it that way. There are others who operate it as a company. So officially they are registered as a company, and all what they do is to win sand. Now the question then arises, do you have sand somewhere that you're going to win, or you get permit from the Minerals Commission? According to the Minerals Commission, yes, they issue permits to mining companies to go and mine sand. But again, according to the Minerals Commission, most of the sand winners we have in the system today are not registered. So if you pick, let's say, 10 sand winners, about 6 of these winners are not registered. They go about to carry out these activities, and that is the reason why they clash with residents, farmers, landowners, and all of that. Because if you are going to win a sand, you need to get allocation from the Minerals Commission. These guys don't get any allocation from the Minerals Commission. They just go around, survey the places. Once they identify that, okay, this place is viable, they carry their machines, come. Now, the point is this. They come to you, first of all, that yes, we've identified that you have sand here. We want to win it. And this is the agreement. It's give or take case. Whether you give them the permits to come and win the sand or not, they will go ahead and do it. Look at the time they carry out the activities. It starts at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., the time you are fast asleep. They then drive onto site. Next morning you go there, they leave gaping hole on your farm lands or on your land. Now, there is no way you can trace these people. They come like hawk. They come, pick it up, and they are gone. By the time we wake up, the destruction is already done. So tracing them is a bit difficult. The reason why we get the police saying that they are still on the trail. Now, these 2 guys that in Nsaman police got to, it was as a result of the townsfolk who gave a tip-off to the police. Apparently, they made some of them out. So they were able to inform the police, and then, I mean, they managed to get to these 2 individuals. But it is a very tricky situation, and, I mean, the police cannot handle this case alone.
We're seeing the videos and the amount of sand and the amount of distraction. And so for everybody to say it's like a ninja movement where they were in and out, clearly this must have taken about an hour, 2 hours to move that load. And they were that much asleep, or is it that the farms are too far away?
The farms from Yoko for the farm is a bit
miles away from
like
the town.
30 minutes drive from the village. And this guy, no, but the difficulty, Nana, is that these guys come, they pass through the main township. But the fact is, they come with sophisticated weapons.
So you dare not?
You dare not confront them. And unfortunately, Charles was a bit enthusiastic in his approach, and they didn't spare his life. They just offloaded the bullets and killed him. We had his brother who also was with him and also suffered some gunshot wounds. Yeah, so you may see these guys coming in, but how to approach and stop them is the problem. And at the time they carry out the activities, the security forces are not there. The police will not be there at 2 a.m. The military will not be there at 2 a.m. It is between these guys and the residents and the landowners, and it makes it, you know.
I mean, before you come in, and let me just admit this shamefully that, I mean, I've bought sand for building purposes, but it's never occurred to me that, you know.
You didn't know the source of the sand.
Yeah, where are you going to get the sand, and is it legal or not? We just pay the tipper driver. He
gets you the sand. You don't know where the sand is coming from.
And I'm sure there are many people watching who go through the same process. You never ask for a license or a permit. Just, you know, you know, and sometimes you even put pressure because they don't bring you at the time you want it.
I see. Now he's smiling.
Yeah, let me bring you in.
But I mean, look, knowing the extent to which the devastation is taking place, and knowing what we know, if we know that the illegal sand winning is happening during the weird hours of the night, then as a nation, we should come up with a law that will say that there should be no sand winning between certain hours. Understand? Mm-hmm. So if we come up with such a law, then we also educate the public. Today, everybody has a cell phone. So that if anybody should hear, see, notice sand winning at any particular hours, you just have to call the police, call a number, and report it. And then, after that, we must go in with all the state's apparatus and machinery to stop it.
See, I disagree with you with the law bit because I mean, the already existing laws, we are not even, you know, bothered about it. If we bring in further laws, it will just be added into the other laws and we just ignore it. For the state apparatus, but who's going to trigger that action? That look, move in and stop it.
But you see, that is what
scapegoats.
That's the point I'm saying, that we need to consider this a national disaster and declare war on it. When we declare war on the situation, we have a responsibility as a nation to marshal all the necessary machinery of the state.
But you see,
to the issue.
Again, this declaration of war, let me take you back to galamsey. Nana Addo, prior to coming into presidency, was only going to regularize, mesmerize, cooperative, all the beautiful words, streamline, galamsey, whatever it is. It is the media that jumped in, and then all of a sudden, we are going to stop mining. And then you realize that the NDC is, you know, somewhat quiet because now it's like, well, we're not going to vote for them, you know. So very soon when they go to campaign, the NDC will say, oh, we'll streamline, you know, allow you to work. And these two parties playing each other, let the criminals go free. And that's the truth.
No, I have an issue with your statement.
Sure.
Look, this is the point. We are not sitting here saying that sand winning is bad. We are sitting here saying that there are legitimate sand winning activities. However, there are illegal activities. Okay? Yeah. So we should not be divided along a political life or along what is right and what is not right.
You know, that has been the status quo.
Yeah.
Where because of votes, you're unable to hammer down on the. How many times did you try to clear, you know, hawkers off the road? And even your own party will come and say, hey, let him stop doing that. Your own people, you know, when you're trying to correct by saying, look, get off the road, don't sell here, demolish this, not even from the opposition, even from your own party, you say, look, let them break the law so they vote for us.
Yeah. But we need to start from somewhere, because look, when you go to these areas where sand winning is destroying the land, there is no line that says that these people are NDC and these people are MPP. The point is that it is destroying the earth, the very land that we must live on, eat from, and live well. So it's destroying it for everybody. The point is that I believe that, see, what we haven't done very well, for example, I don't think we have educated the people enough. There is no, I don't hear of any education ongoing telling the chiefs, telling our farmers, telling our people who own the land that sand winning, if not done appropriately, if not done in a certain way, if not restored in a certain way, spell doom for all of us. Number one. Number two, I do not hear us saying, if you engage in these things, whether as a chief, as a farmer, as owner of the land, you are part of the problem. You see, if we come out boldly and spell these things out, then we involve and solicit the involvement of all well-meaning people to say, let us say no to these parties. Then we say that we as a nation, the country Ghana, we are serious about these things. Documents like we just saw should be put on all television sites for everybody to see. And who and how many will say that this is something we should allow to continue?
I mean, Latif, let me come to you and I'll put the same question to Alfred too. I mean, for a people, quote and unquote, a people who really can poison their own water, I mean, would they even worry about what they do on their land?
Yeah, that is a difficult question. Same way, I do not know how galamsey started. And today, looking at how this sand winning is shaping up, I'm afraid to say that if we do not take urgent steps to stop the trend, is going to compete with galamsey as the topmost threat to the environment. Yes, we poison our own water bodies, and now it's becoming a national disaster. I think the people of Yoko, for instance, are concerned about what is happening to their lands. Now, the sense I got on the ground is that this community is made up of people who are predominantly farmers. And today, if you come and use bulldozers, excavators to destroy their farmlands, it's like destroying their livelihoods. And that is a threat to the life that they hold. Yes, so in this perspective, I'm saying yes, they are really concerned about the trend. Reason why they've involved the police themselves. Now, the police didn't just go in because they identified that sand winning cartels were destroying their farmland. It was the people. They walked to the police that, see, we've complained over and over, but you are not taking action. And they continue to, pose as threats to our livelihood. So if you don't come in, we are going to take the law into our own hands. Several complaints went to the police. They didn't take action. Then they decided to approach and then confront this, illegal sand winning cartel by themselves. And unfortunately, a life was lost in the process. Nana.
Alfred, is this democracy thing getting too much? Maybe somewhere in our constitution, they should unleash the military a little bit more than necessary?
Well, the military exists for a reason. Both internal forces and external. And if the time comes for us to use our military, I don't think it's an action of democratic practice. The military exists to make sure that this country is well protected. And if we have people within this society who want to take the law into their hands, whether it is armed robbery, whether it is galamsey, whether it is sand winning, whether it is thieves, whatever it is. If we need the military, we need the military. They exist for us. If we need the police, we need the police. You understand? So when it comes to these matters, and to hear the level of sophisticated weapons that they carry, can the police match them? If the answer is no, and it calls for the military, then we must use the military. Because look, the destruction, you see, he spoke about the farmers, but we have to recognize the cycle of this whole thing. When you destroy the land, you are not just destroying the produce, you are creating food shortage. That can be a national, security issue. Then you're going to create hunger. So it's a full cycle. And you must not allow the cycle to move one pendulum if we are serious about our national development.
Let me take a quick break and then I'll come back to Lateef, and then we'll find out what at all can the people do now, because obviously the police are also playing a waiting game. The people are desperate. What can we do? Is it time to unleash the army? Don't move. Well, thank you very much for staying. Menace in sand-winning sector. Isn't it just heartbreaking? I mean, of all the issues in the modern world today, why would we sit on TV in a nation and even cry about sand winning? But here we are. It's part of our problems. An ad hoc committee in Parliament has been set up. So let's see what they are coming up with. But just before we go there, let me just find out from Lateef if the people from Yoko are crying out for the military, or they want to lean on the police for a while.
The call is for government to step in. Already we have the security institutions there to step in and do what is right, but it appears they are not doing much for the people. So now they want government to step in and do something different. Now the call they are making is that, and I want to quote them, that they are part of the people who voted for President Akufo-Addo. And so they want him to, as a matter of urgency, come up with something different. Because according to them, the police, within the municipality are not doing much to, fix the situation. And yeah, so the hope of the people of Yoko is on government, nothing else. They want something different to happen to save the situation in there.
Well, an ad hoc committee has been put up on this same issue. But before I come to Alfred, last year, somewhere in Nsawam, these same guys literally blocked the river with sand so that they can drive over it onto the next side to go and win. So it's taking so long. Why is it taking so long? What are we afraid of? Why can't we just nip this thing in the bud once and for all? And what's the committee? What are some of the proposals that are coming up?
Well, the ad hoc committee that has been set up by Parliament under the direction of the Speaker has been given the mandate to investigate. In other words, listen to the departments or offices that are supposed to regulate these activities. Hear what the concerns are, do a fact-finding to the areas, and then talk to journalists, talk to public, talk to people who know what's happening. And then also look at the laws that exist, and then come up with some recommendations. So I am sure, because we've met with some of these commissions, and we've listened to them. We will be doing a fast finding, go to the areas, talk to the, get involved and find out what's happening. And then we will, as I said, make a recommendation. And I'm sure that by the time we make recommendation to the full house and it's looked at, some things will change.
I mean, as a country, maybe you haven't been in parliament so long, but you were a mayor. This is a country's culture. Why are we so scared to make the law bite? We seem to, we put the law down, set it clear, people will break it, and then we'll be just dancing around and kicking gloves and punching softly. Why can't we just let the law bite?
Are you asking me?
Yes. Yes. It's not your fault. I mean,
all night you haven't laughed. I think it's important that you laugh.
You know, it's a phenomenon that it's a culture that we have developed.
Yeah. You know, look, let me tell you. The point is this: we have institutions of state who are failing in their responsibilities, pure and clean. You have, when it comes to the environment, you have departments that should educate us as a nation about the pros and cons. They should tell us the dangers in what we do with our environment. And they should also set a national agenda to tell us that these things that are happening will lead to this and that. And as a state, we must also give them the tools to work with. And then we can hold them responsible. You know, when you go to Parliament, you see things. With the budget that we recently passed, almost every ministry that I had the privilege to look at their budgets will tell you they owe X amount of money from the previous year. And then even the money that we are giving them for this year will not even in some cases cover the monies that they owe from previous.
Let alone run this.
Let alone run this year's budget. The Minerals Commission and some other departments like EPA and others that we spoke to, they do not even have the staff. They do not have the staff in all the districts of this country to monitor. You understand? How are they going to work? So that's why I'm saying that we have to call national priority to these situations. If we know that we want to stop these things, we must raise the bar, the standard on it, and say as a nation, we will not allow this. Then, regardless of which political party is in power, we as a people are saying that we will not accept this. And then I believe it can make a difference. You know?
A little diversion. You know, on the issue of galamsey, media, civil society have come up. Now we hear a bunch of people who say, look, we're not going to vote for Nana Addo anymore because he's stopping galamsey. I was expecting the NDC to come out and say, then we also don't want your vote. You see, because as soon as that comes in, boom, that's the end of it. But it sort of ties in fine with the NDC now. So you keep quiet.
Can you say that?
No. You see, it's not you. I mean, when it was, you know, when the MPP was also in opposition and people were yelling, because I remember when President Mahama went to somewhere up north and said this was not going to, not right. And the people ganged up against him that you're not coming, the people will be quiet and say, oh, we'll regularize, streamline, formalize, do this, you know, just for the vote. So I was just hoping that, you know, with sun winning and galamsey and things to the environment, these two parties will come together and say, join forces, look, this is our policy. Whether you vote for him or you don't vote for him, it's no.
But I think we should give our nation some credit because, you see, we had the ex-president who started the war against galamsey. They went in, they seized some machinery. They took action to make sure, we took action to make sure that we will bring to light that these things are unacceptable. Okay, we have a new government that has come in.
But the NPP didn't help you then.
Okay, but what I'm saying,
it was in their favor.
But you see, I won't go back and fight on that.
No, I'm just trying.
I'm saying that let's move forward. we had a government, the previous government, that said galamsey is not a thing to live with. The former president put his foot down, seized equipment, did this, the military came in. Now we have a new government. I am happy that the new government is saying that, hey, what the previous government was saying is right. We believe in it. What I didn't like about it now is that when I heard the statement that we are not going to do it like the NDC did it, for me, that was the failing point. You understand?
Okay.
Because I can guarantee you that if this government want to really stop galamsey, it's going to come to that. But you have already somebody in high positions have already shot yourself in the foot when you say we are not going to do it like the previous government did it.
What would take for what would take for these two parties to sit shoulder to shoulder and tell Ghana that, listen, whether you like it or not, we have to enforce the law?
You know, exactly. So I was expecting that if the new government has come and the new government says that we are going to stop galamsey, where did the previous government get to that? You know, let us continue. Then we are sending a message to our people. But when we say we are going to do it, but we are not going to do it like the previous administration did it, then we are sending wrong messages.
Wrong messages.
You know, I would have said, you know, a teacher comes to the class, a teacher is teaching the class, and then when the teacher is sick or the teacher is moved and a new teacher comes in, then the teacher says that, I'm happy to be here, but I'm not going to teach you like the previous teacher taught you. You know, you are a new teacher on board. Teach the class. Don't make any reference to the previous teacher. Because when you do that, then you introduce a point of discipline.
The ad hoc committee that's been formed, I mean, can this be one of the suggestions as to the big political parties come together, issue a statement to say, whether you vote for Nanado or whether you vote for the NDC, these are the rules we are following. If you disagree, don't vote at all.
Well, you see, Parliament is made up of representatives across the country, both NDC and NPP. So whatever recommendation the ad hoc committee will come up with will go to the floor of Parliament. And when it gets there you have the people's representatives, NDC, NPP. We will discuss it and then we will take a vote. So something will come up from the floor of Parliament. A consensus will be reached. That will be a representative of the people.
I mean, Latif, I'm suggesting, you know, one of those usual red tie press conference that we all attend, because those ones, the communicators pick it up, everybody picks it up. But in Parliament, it's so far, the English is too big, it's too far from us. But, you know, when they come with their red ties and sit and we all come and pick a statement and say, look, this is what they've issued, I don't know, I think it will resonate to the ground. I don't know if I'm being too radical.
I think we can start with this ad hoc committee. Hopefully something positive should come out of it. But my interest in the ad hoc committee, Mayor, is that do we have a timeline? It's an ad hoc committee. I just want to find out, I mean, are there any timelines?
Well, you know, the day that this Sun winning issue was, you know, spoken about on the floor, the consensus almost from the floor, everybody who spoke against it, that something needs to be done. So already the enthusiasm to do something is already there, you can tell. And the committee that has been put together, the 5-member committee, 3 NPPs and 2 NDCs, you know, members of Parliament, are all eager to address the issue, to get this work done, so we can take something to the floor. So with that commitment, I'm sure very soon, Parliament is on recess now. Parliament, I'm sure by the time we resume, we would have finished our work and would have presented our report to the Speaker so that something will be done about it. I can assure you that we will make recommendations that I believe that would endure to the benefit of our country.
I mean, this report was for Yoko, but in front of the ad hoc committee, how widespread it is? How many regions or how many more areas do you have to deal with?
Well, we are looking at about We are going to about 6 regions, and where we know that these activities are really on the high side. And I think Greater Accra is included, the Volta region, Eastern region. I think I saw Ashanti region on the list. So about 6 regions we are going to cover, and we will do our work before Parliament resumes.
Well, thank you very much, Alfred Okovandapoy, Honorable Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South, and Latif Idris, multimedia journalist, my own brother in-house. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow we'll be back to do this all over again, but if you're a chief or DC or somebody of position watching me, protect the environment. As simple as that. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you.